The forest was calm in the early morning light, but inside Toma's cabin, a storm of thoughts and emotions filled the air. Jirai stood near the window, looking out but not really seeing the trees and sky. Her mind was far away, caught between two worlds. Toma watched her quietly. He understood the weight she carried, the mission, the orders. And now the doubt. I have sent my message, Jirai said softly. I asked for more time. But my people will not wait long. Toma nodded. We must be ready, together. Jirai turned to him, her pale blue eyes full of worry. If I stay with you, I become a traitor. You are not a traitor, Toma said firmly. You are choosing what is right. Jirai hesitated, then slowly began to remove parts of her silver armor. She had worn it like a shield, protecting herself and hiding her feelings. Now, piece by piece, she let it go. Her movements were careful and deliberate. The armor was heavy and unfamiliar. She placed each piece on the floor, watching them fall with a soft clink. I'm not used to this, she said quietly. To be unarmed, Toma smiled gently. You don't need armor here. This is a place of peace. For the first time, Jirai looked relaxed. She took a deep breath, feeling the fresh air on her skin. It was strange but also freeing. Together, they worked on repairing Jirai's damaged bod. Toma showed her how to use simple tools and parts from the colony's scrapyard. Jirai was quick to learn, her strong hands careful and steady as they worked. They talked about their worlds, their hopes, and their fears. Toma shared stories about Earth and its people. He spoke of humans who had changed the course of history. With kindness and courage, Jirai listened, sometimes asking questions, sometimes silent. She was learning more than just tools and machines. She was learning about a different way to live. But the shadow of the coming invasion loomed over them one afternoon. A sudden beep from Jirai's communicator broke the quiet. She looked at it quickly and frowned. Another Varnix warrior has landed, she said, voice tense. He will finish the mission if I do not. Toma's eyes widened. Can he find you here? Jirai nodded. Yes, he is close. Toma's mind raced. We have to prepare, but we don't need weapons. Jirai looked at him, confused. We will face him with truth and courage, Toma said firmly. Sometimes that is the strongest weapon. That night, they set traps round the cabin, not to harm, but to alert them if someone came too close. Jirai sat near the fire, thinking deeply. If he comes, I will not fight him. Toma reached out and held her hand. I will stand with you. When the stars filled the sky, a distant sound echoed through the forest. The quiet hum of an approaching ship. Jirai and Toma stood side by side, ready for what would come. The future was uncertain, but their choice was clear, to protect peace, no matter the cost. The night was quiet except for the soft sounds of the forest. The moonlight filtered through the tall trees, casting long shadows on the ground. Toma and Jirai waited inside the cabin, their hearts beating steadily but full of tension. Suddenly, a faint noise came from outside, the soft crunch of footsteps on dry leaves. The traps they had set earlier snapped quietly, alerting them to the visitor's approach. Jirai stood by the doorway, her hands trembling slightly. He is close, she whispered. Toma nodded. Remember, no weapons. We show him peace. The door creaked open slowly, and a tall figure stepped inside. He was dressed in dark armor, strong and sharp-eyed. The new warrior looked around, his gaze hard and suspicious. Jirai. The newcomer said sharply, You are here. Why have you not completed your mission? Jirai stood tall, meeting his eyes. I have chosen another way. I do not want war. The warrior laughed, cold and harsh. You are weak. You betray your people. Toma stepped forward. She is brave. She believes in peace. The warrior turned his sharp eyes on Toma. You are human. Why do you help her? Because I believe in kindness, Toma said firmly. Because war only brings pain. The warrior sneered. Kindness is a lie. Strength is power. Jirai shook her head. No, strength is in choosing what is right. The room grew silent. The warrior's eyes flickered with anger and doubt. Suddenly, he raised his weapon. But before he could strike, Jirai moved quickly. She placed herself between the warrior and Toma. "Stop," she said, her voice steady. "This fight is not ours." The warrior hesitated, his weapon still raised but unmoving. Toma took a step forward. "If you fight now, more will come. But if we talk, maybe we can stop this." The warrior's face showed conflict. His eyes searched Jiraiya's for a moment. Then he lowered his weapon slowly. "This is not the end," he warned. "The fleet is coming. We will finish the fight." Jiraiya nodded. "Then we must prepare, not with weapons, but with hope." The warrior looked at Toma once more, then turned and left silently. After the door closed, Jiraiya sighed deeply. "That was close." Toma smiled softly. "You were very brave." Jiraiya looked at him, a small smile on her lips. "I am learning." Days passed, and the news of the approaching fleet grew nearer. The colony leaders gathered to hear Toma's words and Jiraiya's message. Some were afraid, but others listened. With hope, together, they planned how to face the Varniks, not with violence, but with courage and understanding. Jiraiya and Toma worked side by side, repairing the pod and preparing for what was to come. Though the future was uncertain, one thing was clear: they would stand together, not as enemies, but as friends fighting for peace. The dawn broke slowly over the quiet forest, painting the sky with soft pink and orange colors. Birds began to sing, and the light touched the tops of the tall trees. But beneath this peaceful morning, a new hope was stirring. Toma and Jiraiya stood together outside the cabin, looking up at the sky. Far above, the silver shapes of the Varnik's ships glinted against the rising sun. The fleet had arrived. Jiraiya's hand tightened around Toma's. "This is the moment," she said softly. "Our future depends on what we do now." Toma nodded. "We will show them a different way. We will choose peace." The two walked towards the clearing where the leaders of the Earth colony waited. The humans were nervous, but they trusted Toma and Jiraiya. The Varnik's ships slowly descended, their engines humming like a quiet storm. From one of the ships came a group of warriors, led by the same dark-armored soldier who had come to Toma's cabin days before. He stepped forward, his eyes hard but curious. "You speak of peace," he said to Jiraiya, "but can it last?" Jiraiya looked at the warriors and then at the humans. "Peace is not weakness," she said firmly. "It is strength, the strength to stop fighting and start understanding." Toma stepped forward beside her. "We do not want war. We want to live together, to share this world." The leader of the warriors hesitated. Then, slowly, he lowered his weapon. For a long moment, silence filled the clearing. Then, the Varnik's commander spoke. "We will give peace a chance." The humans and the Varnik's warriors looked at each other, unsure but hopeful. Days passed, and the two groups worked together to build trust. They shared stories, food, and songs. Jiraiya taught the humans about the stars, and Toma showed the Varniks how to care for the forest. The Varniks began to see Earth not as a prize to be won, but as a home to be shared. Jiraiya and Toma stood side by side, watching a new world being born, one where enemies became friends and fear gave way to hope. One evening, as the sun set, Jiraiya turned to Toma. "You saved more than my life," she said quietly. "You saved my heart." Toma smiled. "We saved each other." Under the stars, with the forest alive around them, they knew the future was uncertain. But together, they were ready to face it, because now, the strongest force in the universe was not war or power, it was peace. Milo sat by the small window of the space station's control room. Outside, the stars twinkled quietly in the dark sky. The station was old, but it still worked well. It floated near a small moon that had no name. This was the only place for hundreds of miles where ships could stop for fuel and rest. Milo liked the quiet. After many years of travel and noise, he wanted peace. He worked alone on the station. Every day, he checked machines, fixed broken parts, and waited for ships to come by. Sometimes, he talked with the pilots and travelers. But most of the time, he was alone. He looked down at his hands. They were rough from work, but steady. Milo enjoyed simple things, fixing small droids, watching stars. and listening to old Earth music from his radio. He had no family here, no close friends. The station was his home. Suddenly, an alarm beeped softly. A small ship was landing on the station's platform. This was rare. Usually, ships only stopped briefly for fuel. Milo got up and walked to the platform window. The ship was smooth and silver. It did not look like any human ship he had seen. The doors opened, and a tall figure stepped out. She was an alien woman. Her skin was smooth and silvery blue. Her eyes shined softly like glowing crystals. Her hair was long and white, falling like silk over her shoulders. She moved with calm and grace. Milo's heart beat faster. She looked familiar, but he could not place where he had seen her before. The quiet in the room grew heavier. The woman came inside. She spoke in a clear, gentle voice. "Hello, my name is Rena." Milo nodded slowly. "I'm Milo. Welcome to the station." Rena looked around, curious but calm. "I did not expect anyone here," she said. "Is it always this quiet?" Milo smiled a little. "Most of the time. Not many ships stop here now." They stood for a moment, both unsure what to say next. Milo's mind raced with memories he did not want to forget. "Rena," Milo said softly. "Do you remember me?" She looked at him, her glowing eyes wide. "I'm sorry. I don't think I do." Milo's heart sank. "You don't remember?" Rena shook her head gently. "No, I do not know who you are. I only know my name and a little about my journey." Milo wanted to say so much. He wanted to tell her about the time she saved his life, about the long nights they spent under stars on a distant planet, about the friendship, maybe more, they once had. But she looked so calm, so sure she did not know him. He took a deep breath. "That's okay. I'm glad you're here." Rena smiled faintly. "Thank you." Milo showed her around the station. He pointed out the small garden where plants grew under bright lights. He took her to the workshop where old robots sat waiting for repair. They talked about simple things, the stars, the quiet, the work. Rena listened carefully, but never mentioned anything about a past with Milo. As the day passed, Milo watched her closely. There was a sadness in her eyes, a deep calm that hid something. She seemed like a traveler lost in her own mind. That night, Milo sat alone again by the window. He thought about Rena and her strange silence. He remembered everything, the laughter, the shared stories, the small kindnesses. He hoped, somehow, she might remember too. Outside, the stars kept shining. The quiet station waited for the next day and for the mystery that had just arrived. The next morning, Milo woke early. The station was calm as usual. He found Rena already awake, sitting near the window, looking out at the stars. Her silvery blue skin seemed to glow softly in the morning light. Milo walked over quietly. "Did you sleep well?" he asked. Rena turned and smiled gently. "Yes, thank you. It is peaceful here." Milo nodded. He wanted to learn more about her. "You said you don't remember me," he said carefully, "but I think you might remember your people. Can you tell me about them?" Rena looked down at her hands. "I am Villari. My people live far from here, on a planet called Villaris. We are a peaceful race. We do not fight wars like many others." Milo listened closely. "That sounds very different from many places I have seen. What makes your people peaceful?" Rena's eyes seemed to grow distant. "One reason is that we can forget. We can erase memories we do not want to keep. When there is pain or sadness, we remove those memories. It helps us heal." Milo was surprised. "You can choose to forget things. That sounds hard." Rena nodded slowly. "It is not easy, but it is part of who we are. Some memories are too heavy to live fully. We must let go. We use special crystals to hold memories. We can erase the crystals or keep them safe." Milo thought for a moment. "So you erased your memories?" "Yes," Rena said softly. "I erased some memories of my past, some of the people I knew, even some parts of myself." Milo's heart ached. He wanted to ask if he was part of those memories, but he stopped himself. "Why did you erase them?" Milo asked quietly. Rena looked at him. "Because the past was too painful. There was a war between my people and another. Many were lost. I lost many friends. I chose to forget to survive. Milo understood. That must have been very difficult. It was. Rena's voice was steady, but Milo could see the sadness behind her eyes. Now, I am on a journey to find myself again, to understand who I was before forgetting. Milo smiled warmly. I'm glad you're here. If you want, I can help you. Remember, little by little. Rena looked at him with surprise. You would do that, of course. Milo's eyes were kind. Even if you do not remember me now, I remember you. Rena's lips curved in a small smile. Thank you, Milo. That means more than you know. They spent the day talking about many things. Milo told her about Earth and its many cultures. He spoke of music and stories humans told. Rena shared. Tales of Valaris, its shining cities and peaceful forests. Sometimes, Milo noticed Rena would pause, as if trying to catch a lost thought. She asked questions about feelings and memories that humans had. Milo answered carefully, hoping to give. Her comfort died at night. The station was still. Milo sat near Rena as she looked at the stars. Do you ever feel like something is missing? He asked gently. Rena nodded. Yes, it is like a part of me is hidden. I dream of things I cannot understand, faces I cannot see clearly. Milo reached out, touching her hand lightly. Maybe those dreams are your memories trying to come back. Rena looked at him, her glowing eyes searching his. Maybe. They sat together quietly, watching the stars move slowly. Milo felt hope for her. The first time in many years, maybe Rena's memories would return. Maybe she would remember him. But deep inside, Milo also feared what would happen if she did not. Would she stay a stranger, or would their past be lost forever? For now, there was only the quiet study, on the endless stars, and two souls connected by something beyond memory. Days passed slowly at the quiet station. Milo and Rena spent their time exploring the small orbiting place together. Milo showed her the little garden full of strange plants that glowed under soft lights. He fixed old droids in the workshop, and Rena watched with interest, her eyes shining. Though she still did not remember him, Rena seemed to relax more each day. She asked many questions about humans, their feelings, their memories, their ways of living. Milo answered with patience and care. One evening, after the station's soft lights dimmed for the night, Milo sat near the window, playing a small music box he had found in an old crate. The tune was soft and sweet, a simple song from Earth. As the melody filled the room, Rena sat quietly, listening. Her eyes slowly closed. Milo watched her, his heart hopeful. Suddenly, Rena's body froze. Her eyes snapped open wide. The song touched something deep inside her, a hidden part she had tried to forget. Stop, she whispered, her voice trembling. That song, where did you learn it? Milo looked at her with surprise. It's an old song from Earth. Why do you remember it? Rena shook her head slowly. No, but it feels like a memory I cannot reach, like a whisper in the dark. Milo nodded gently. Sometimes memories come back in strange ways. Music, smells, dreams. Rena looked out the window at the stars. I have dreams, she said softly. Strange dreams with flashes of light and voices calling my name. Faces that disappear before I can see them clearly. Milo reached out and took her hand. Maybe those faces are from your past. Maybe your memories want to find you. Rena squeezed his hand but did not say more. She seemed lost in thought. The next day, Rena asked Milo if she could explore the station more on her own. Milo agreed. She wandered quietly through the rooms, touching objects carefully, as if searching for something inside herself. In the workshop, Rena found a small, clear crystal lying in a corner. It was smooth and warm to the touch. When she held it, a strange feeling filled her, like a faint pulse of light deep inside. Milo came over and saw the crystal in her hand. Where did you find that? He asked. Rena looked up, confused. I don't know. It was here. Milo's eyes widened. That is a memory crystal. Your people use them to store memories. Did you bring it with you? Rena looked thoughtful. I do not remember. But now I feel it is important. Milo sat beside her. Maybe it holds memories you erased. Maybe it can help you remember. Rena's eyes shone with hope and fear. But what if I do not want to remember? What if the pain comes back? Milo smiled softly. You don't have to face it alone. I'm here. That night, Rena held the crystal close. She closed her eyes and touched its surface gently. Images flashed inside her mind, bright stars. Green forests, a warm hand holding hers. Voices whispered softly. She saw herself smiling and laughing with someone who looked like Milo suddenly. She gasped and opened her eyes wide. I see, fragments, but it is confusing. Milo sat beside her quietly. Take your time. Memories can be like puzzles. Pieces come slowly. Rena nodded. I want to know who I was, but I'm afraid. Milo reached out again, holding her hand. We all have fears, but some memories are worth finding. Days turned into weeks. Rena and Milo shared stories about their worlds, their hopes, and their fears. Sometimes, Rena would stop and look at Milo with a strange expression, as if trying to remember something just beyond reach. One afternoon, while Milo was repairing a small droid, Rena walked in holding the crystal. Milo, she said quietly, I want to try something. Milo looked up. What is it? I want to see all the memories in the crystal, even if it is painful. Milo's eyes showed both concern and support. I will be here. You are not alone. Rena held the crystal tightly. As she activated it, bright images filled her mind. She saw her home planet, shining towers, and peaceful forests. She saw herself with others of her people, smiling and learning. Then, darker images came. Battles, loss, sadness, faces of friends who were gone. And then, she saw Milo, standing beside her under the stars, sharing quiet moments, holding hands, helping each other survive. Rena gasped and fell back. Breathless, Milo caught her gently. She looked at him with wide eyes. I remember some of it. Milo nodded, smiling softly. I'm glad. Rena sat quietly, holding the crystal close. Why did I erase these memories? She whispered. Because they hurt too much, Milo said softly. But some memories are worth keeping, even if they bring pain. Rena's eyes met his. I feel something for you, even if I tried to forget. Milo's heart lifted. I never forgot you. The quiet station seemed warmer now, filled with new hope, even if the past was difficult. Rena had begun to find herself again, and Milo would be with her every step of the way. The morning sun, or what passed for a sun near the quiet moon station, cast soft light through the control room's windows. Milo woke early as usual. When he entered the main room, he found Rena already sitting at the small table, her fingers gently tracing the smooth surface of the crystal she had found. The crystal glowed faintly, warm to the touch. It was unlike anything Milo had ever seen before. He knew it was special. A memory crystal from the Velari. But what exactly it was? Inside it was a mystery. Good morning, Milo said softly, not wanting to disturb her thoughts. Rena looked up and smiled faintly. Good morning, Milo. I am thinking about the crystal and the memories it holds. Milo nodded, pulling a chair beside her. Do you want to know everything inside it? To see all your memories again? Rena hesitated. I am afraid. Some memories hurt, but some memories are important. I want to know who I was before. Milo reached out and placed his hand lightly on hers. Whatever you decide, I will be here. Rena took a deep breath and closed her eyes. She held the crystal tightly. Then, slowly, she pressed her palm against its surface. A soft light filled the room, and images began to appear in her mind. She saw the bright city of Velaris, tall, shining buildings with gardens on every rooftop. She saw herself walking among her people, smiling and learning. The warmth of friendship filled her heart. Then the images changed. Dark clouds gathered over her home. She saw fires, broken buildings, and frightened faces. A great war had come to Velaris, a war unlike any they had ever known. Rena saw herself helping others, comforting those in pain. But the war was too strong. Many were lost, including friends she loved. Then, the images showed her sitting alone, holding the crystal. She remembered her decision to erase her memories to survive. The pain, a sudden rush of emotions overwhelmed her. Tears ran down her cheeks. Milo reached out and gently wiped them away. "It is okay," he said softly. "You are safe now." Rena nodded, still holding the crystal close. "There's more. I see someone. A human. Someone who stood by me." Milo's heart beat faster. "That was me." She looked at him, her eyes wide. "I remember feeling safe with you. You were kind, strong, and patient." Milo smiled gently. "I never left your side." Rena took a deep breath. "Why did I erase you from my mind? Why did I try to forget someone so important?" "Because it was easier to forget," Milo said quietly. "To protect yourself from pain." Rena looked away, tears still shining in her eyes. "But forgetting did not heal me. It left a hole." Milo nodded. "Sometimes the hardest memories are the ones we need to keep." Rena held the crystal tightly. "I want to choose again. To remember everything, the good and the bad. But I want to do it with you." Milo's smile grew. "I will help you, every step." The two sat together in silence, the crystal glowing softly between them. Over the next days, Rena slowly opened more memories with Milo's help. She saw moments of joy, their laughter under alien skies, quiet talks by a campfire, gentle touches that spoke of trust and care. She saw moments of fear and loss, battles that shook the stars, friends who never returned, the deep pain of saying goodbye. But with each memory, she grew stronger. The pain did not disappear, but it became part of her story, a story that included Milo. One afternoon, while fixing a small robot, Milo noticed Rena watching him with a new light in her eyes. "You look different," he said with a smile. Rena laughed softly. "I feel different, like I am becoming whole again." Milo nodded. "That is good." Rena looked out the window, at the stars shining quietly. "There is still much I do not remember. But with you here, I am not afraid." Milo reached for her hand. "We will face it together." In the peaceful quiet of the station, two souls began to heal, not by forgetting, but by remembering, and by choosing to face the future side by side.